Well, hey everybody, welcome to Wednesday's night's training, and this is Joe Licciardi coming to you live from Temecula, California. Hope you're having a great Wednesday and had a great week so far. And I just realized today is May 5th, right? Cinco de Mayo here at our resort here. We're having dollar tacos, and probably after this, I'll go grab a few. But tonight, for the next 30 minutes or so, I'm going to share something that I've shared in the past, but before I get started, and the reason I went through all of my slides and everything that I've done, and I think tonight this will be appropriate to share why the path to success is not an easy one. Okay, as many of you have been feeling. But before I do that, I'm going to start off by reading you some cliff notes that my wife wrote down. She watched a Tom Brady, Oprah Winfrey Super Soul Sunday that was, well, actually, it was recorded back in June of 2018. So here we are, 2021. The guy won in the Super Bowl. So this is actually before he won this. What is it? 7 Super Bowls, whatever it is, whatever the number is. It's still crazy. So I'm going to read you some of her cliff notes, and so it'll get you into the mindset of what it really takes to be the greatest of all time. So the greatest of they call him the GOAT, right? The NFL quarterback, Tom Brady, was the 199th draft pick, very close to the last pick for that year. In fact, for those that watch the draft, the last pick is, I guess, it is 200. He was 199. This is what he said about himself, because I still feel like there's still more to be accomplished. I was practicing the last 2 days, like working on my technique, on my fundamentals, and all my training. I still feel like I can be better at a percentage better, even a percentage better. I know my strengths. I've improved on some of the weaknesses. What Tom lacked in natural skills and ability, he made up for in his work ethic. At Michigan, he always had to fight for playing time, as there were other more highly recruited players. He finally became the starting quarterback in his senior year, where he led his team to a 10-2 winning season. His 5th year, he didn't get to start playing. He didn't get to start playing until his 5th year. In Tom's book, he explains how he graduated from Michigan and then entered the 2000 draft. There was a scouting report that came out. Tom said about himself, "I was tall, poised, smart, and alert, able to read coverages. I had good accuracy and touch with potentially a team leader. But the positives were buried under a landslide of other stuff." The reporter wrote that Tom had a poor build, very skinny and narrow, can get pushed down more easily than you like, lacks mobility and the ability to avoid the rush, lacks a really strong arm, can't drive the ball down the field, and does not throw a really tight spiral. The report ended by calling him a system-type player who's not what you're looking for in terms of physical stature, not what you're looking for in terms of physical strength, arm strength, and mobility. He could make it in the right system, but it will not be for everyone. He goes on to say, "I started in a place where I was way down on the depth chart in college, and I had a long way to go. And I really learned in college how to work, how to learn, how to develop my other skills." And this is what Oprah asked him. "When you saw yourself at Michigan being outperformed by the other players, did that excite and stimulate you, or did that overwhelm you?" Tom said, "A little of both. Overwhelmed at times and also determined. Since I didn't have all those perfect physical traits that they look for in a quarterback, I had to work to develop other traits. I started working on leadership, perseverance, determination, work ethic, discipline. Everyone has talents. So what you have done, so what you have to do is to develop extra skills." Let me read that again. Everyone has talents. So what you have done to develop extra skills. So what have you done to develop extra skills is what he said. He said, "It was terrible growing up. He had a terrible diet growing up. But at the age of 25, he determined that that wasn't working out well. I'm not getting the results I want, so why don't I try some different things?" It was a change over the course of 15 years. Start slow, Start with what works for you, cut out a few things. Super Bowl champions 3 times a year and in the fourth year period, in the fourth year. But the next Super Bowl championship would come 10 years after that third one in 2014. This gave him perspective. His team had to climb the mountain and they had to achieve the win. It's about the relationships. You commit to one another and you have those relationships for the rest of your life. After the Super Bowl loss to the Giants, the down mood lasted 2 to 3 weeks. He said, "How do you appreciate all the wins if you don't lose?" Oprah asked him, You learn the most about yourself when you appear to fail, when things don't go the way you want them to go. You really learn a lot about yourself. Tom said, when you lose, you try to remember every step you made, and then you try not to repeat those things. Tom said about his leadership style, I try to be very positive. Once I've earned the trust, only then can I be tough on them. You have to find the right mix as far as how you can approach each person. Some you can get loud at, and some you don't respond too loud. The greatest thing for you is to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, who's going to believe in you? Whoo, man. If you guys want me to send that to you, I'll figure out how to get that over to you. But that, I think you'll all agree, was just some powerful words. And the reason why I wanted to read that to you, because as Tom talks about, success isn't easy. I mean, the guy's what, 40? How old is he? 40? He's way up there. And he still wants to compete with the 20-year-olds. But how does he do that? He gets better every year, every week, every day. He just gets better and better and better. And for him, that's how he stays competitive. So why am I talking to you about this? Because the title of this message is Why the Path Isn't Always an Easy One. You see, for those of you right now that are on this call, and thank you for getting on this call, has it been an easy one? Has it been easy building the Hülsa business? I think you'll all agree. And if I could see all your faces, you would all be saying, no, Joe, it hasn't been. It hasn't been. But that's why success is actually geared for those few that will push through the no's, that will push through the downtime, that will push through all the things that you need to do to build. And as Tom Brady points out, he wasn't that talented. So you don't have to be that talented. How do you get good? You work on your weaknesses. You work on the things that you need to work on, that you know that you need to improve on. That's how you get better. If you're not finding success in your business, if you're not growing the business that you want, if you're not reaching out to the people that you want and recruiting the people you want, then you need to get better at all these different things. And yeah, we meet a couple times a week and talk about different things, but it's up to you, everybody. I think 2 weeks ago, if it's going to be, it's up to me. Or was that last Saturday, Java with Joe? If it's going to be, look, it has to be up to you, and that's totally up to you. So when we talk about success, go ahead and Spencer, go to the next slide. You see, success is not a random act. It arises out of a predictable and powerful set of circumstances and opportunity. Hold on one second, Spencer. I got my screen here really small and I can barely see it. So hold on one second. Let me see if I can fix it. Let's see here. Let's go this way. Okay, anyways, no problem. I'll just keep going. So it's not a random act. You see, when we hear the word success, each of us will think of different things we associate with the word. And as we all have a different definition when it comes to success based on where we're at in life, right? Many of you that have joined Hülsa is because you were at a point in your life where you were looking for something else. So, and I'm going over some of the notes that I've talked about on this training before, but let's look at what the dictionary actually talks about success. You see, the accomplishment of an aim or a purpose. The accomplishment of an aim or purpose, the attainment of popularity or profit, or a person or a thing that achieves desires, aims, or attains prosperity. The outcome of an undertaking specified as achieving or failing towards achieve its aim. So that is the definition in the dictionary. But for my entire life, back as long as I can remember, back in the early 80s, when I learned what success truly was about, I understood that, and this was kind of what I heard back then as what is success. You see, success is the continuous journey towards the achievement of predetermined worthwhile goals. Let me say that again. Success is a continuous journey towards the achievement of predetermined worthwhile goals. Guys, it doesn't stop because you didn't have success last month or the week before that or the month before that or yesterday, because if we're talking about Hülsa itself, and we're going to talk about Hülsa, success is that continuous journey. And that's why you have to always have those predetermined goals, but they must be worthwhile. It's so important that they're worthwhile. They have to be in order for you to find the success that you want, and you have to continually go after them. So let's talk about, a continuous journey. What is a continuous journey? Well, you see, I believe that it is a continuous journey, because in life we are either progressing forward or we're going backwards. It's that plain and simple. We're either going forward in life or going backwards. And I'm going to keep putting into in here that, why are most of you here tonight? Most of you here tonight because, your current set of circumstances, your current life, where you're at right now in life, whether it's financially, whether it's just your job, whatever it is, you became part of the Hülsa company because you saw something that triggered in you, that you said, man, I can go after this thing and be successful. I can change my life. I can change the lives of others. So you are moving that ball forward. You see, because here's the thing: many people that do not strive, they think, I'm just being status quo, I'm okay. But what happens is, you see, if you're not moving forward, you're not standing still. You're actually going backwards. You're going backwards. So that's why you need to always be striving to something, whether it's just to enrich your life or striving to achieve something specific. You're not staying where you're currently at in life, but you're going backwards if you're not always moving forward. For the majority of the human race, they're not goal oriented or success driven, because when you think about it, you've heard this so many times from me, right? Why is it that 90% of the money that is earned in the world is earned by the top 1%? Because the 1% set goals and continually reassess them to keep pushing themselves forward. They're constantly reassessing. The story I read you about Tom Brady, the guy is the greatest of all time, and yet he doesn't see himself that way. He does not see himself as the greatest of all time. In fact, he says, I have to keep working harder to get better. So let me ask you, everybody here tonight, are you working every single day to better yourself? Whatever that is to you. I don't know what that means, but that means a lot. Are you bettering yourself, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially? Are you moving towards whatever it is that you want in life and getting there? Because, so many times in life, what happens is we end up getting stuck because life throws a lot of stuff our way, right? I've talked to all of you, and I know life has dealt you guys a lot of things. And what happens, and I've seen this for the last 16 years, is when all these things come at you, the very thing that can get you out of that situation that you're at gets put on the back burner. And I'm just sharing from my heart, everybody, because if we don't see instant success with something, right? That instant gratification that we all want, right? If we don't see it today, we say, man, that stuff doesn't work. And then what happens is we go back to our old ways. We go back to our old thinking, which a lot of time it's stinking thinking. We go back to losing that sight of the reason why we were so excited in the first place, because we had the potential to change our lives with something new. We go back to our old way. And you want to know what happens? What happens is we actually get back in that same old rut. Then another 5, 10 years, 15 years down the road, you're going to look back and you said, man, dude, I was right there at the beginning. I had it. I had all the right things to get me out of the position that I'm in today, which is probably the same career job, even those that do financially well. But have you been able to break free to do the things that you want? Are you progressing forward to produce something that will give you the time freedom, the financial freedom to do the things whenever you want, to share, to do anything whenever you want? The sad truth is, everybody, I've seen it so many times, is that people get frustrated, people lose the will to fight, and then they just think, well, I'll just go back to what I'm doing, and that's okay. And that's okay if you're okay with that, if that makes any sense, right? But what I say is, why not keep fighting? You see, the book 3 Feet from Gold, I know some of you are reading it. It just tells you you're right there. You're just that one phone call away, or that one sample away, or whatever it is. You're potentially one person away that can change the entire course of your business. What if one day you stop and the next person that you could have talked to would have changed your course of your business? See, that's what should keep you going. You say, I just need one more person. I just need one more person. I just need one more person. That's what you should do, is constantly work towards that next person. So last thing about, the continuous journey is if you're not moving towards your goals, your dreams, your desires daily, then you're stuck on that treadmill. Okay. Now let's break down the part of my definition of success, the achievement. Let's first look at the definition of achievement. A thing done successfully, right? A thing done successfully, typically by effort, courage, or skill. And if you're looking at the screen right now, I want you to read that to yourself. If you want to read it out loud, read it out loud. A thing done successfully, typically by effort, courage, and skill. Guys, that is such a huge thing when we're talking about achievement. Achievement doesn't come easy. It's something you do successfully, typically by working, right? That's what effort is. And then it takes the courage to get out there and do it every day, and then have some skill behind it. The process or fact of achieving something, right? The process, it's a continuous process, a representation of a coat of arms with all the adjuncts to which a bearer of arms is entitled. A thing done successfully by effort, courage, and skill. I can't emphasize that enough, because these all go hand in hand with the title of the training. That why isn't it easy? Because it takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of courage, and takes constantly renewing your skill. The achievement is your reward for doing something special, and that reward is greeted with whatever we're going after: a new prospect, a new home, a new car, $10,000 a month generated through a secondary business or residual income. Achievement is your rewards for that journey, for moving forward and not standing still, for setting goals and achieving it. It is the feeling you get inside when you look back at your journey and you say, man, it was well worth it. If you could think about all the people who are successful, just from, the inventors, right? I mean, Thomas Edison, when he finally got after 10,000 times of failing, which he says it wasn't failing, it was trying, when he got that light bulb filament to work, 10,000, you think he looked back and he was just so thankful for all the things that he went through? So we just remember, it's this feeling of achievement that we get inside, right? It's our subconscious mind that once you learn this technique, or once you get to this point where you're achieving things, and you're setting more goals, once you're able to do this, once you get to one little goal and the next goal, what happens is your subconscious mind knows what to do, and it will help to accelerate whatever it is that you are trying to get to next. Okay. Now let's talk about the predetermined. What is a predetermined, part of the predetermined worthwhile goal? In order to go somewhere, we need to have something to go after. And that we have to predetermine, right? We got to predetermine before we set our journey. That's why one of the first things I ask everybody, tell me what your why is. That's kind of a predetermined part of your success and your journey, is because you got to come to a point where you're saying, okay, what do we need to do now? What am I going to go after? What am I focusing on? What am I setting as I'm predetermining ahead before I set my journey? And the more that you predetermine, I'll say, the bigger that why is, right, the harder it's going to be to get there. But yet I always encourage you, and I actually sometimes will give you more of a nudge to say your why needs to be bigger. You see, because if we don't constantly go to our why every single time that we, we're doing the business, if we're not renewing our why in our mind, and if we're not going over it and reading it, what happens is that we don't have that burning desire to keep succeeding. For those that are on this call right now that are in a position that, and I'll give, I'll start with, that aren't that aren't in a job or career that's giving you the financial means that you want, or you're in a job or career or business that you're so strapped to that business, right? You're so strapped to that business that you have no time freedom for you or your family or anyone else, or you're in a, you're with a company that's changed so many things over the last who knows how many years that you're at the end of your ropes going, my gosh, I'm giving them my blood, I'm giving everything to this company, and yet they keep taking more away from me. You see, I know some of your whys, and those whys haven't changed. Those whys haven't changed because they're still there. Those are still legitimate reasons why you're doing Hülsa. The only thing that's changed is whether or not you want to keep pushing forward and working through something that I know works. And I've seen it work over and over and over again. It's so important for you to understand that predetermined, right? That predetermined or that why is what's going to keep us going. You see, we need to have in our minds, where to continue to put our energy towards. That why, right, can keep driving us to where we focus all of our intention to obtain whatever it is, our why that motivates us. And then we're going to go to, okay, if you have not thought out your predetermined where or what you want, then your mind cannot focus on how to get there. And that's so important in this business, everybody, or even in life. If you don't have a path or a journey, right, of what you want, where you want to go, then your mind cannot focus on, and the energy will not be there for you to get there. Okay, so make sure that you're moving forward. You've got your predetermined goals, and I'm just gonna, I'm gonna encourage everybody after this call, just go back through your goals, go back through your whys. Why are you doing this? Just really read your why you're doing this. And if you've gotten stuck in a rut, whatever's changed in your life, business-wise, career-wise, that's taking you out of that why or out of your goals, there's nothing wrong with just getting back on that horse or riding it, right? Just get back on that, get remotivated, get out there. And the name of the game is we just got to keep doing it over and over and over again. The only way this does not work, you ready for it, is if you quit. That's the only way it's not going to work, is if you quit. So let's talk about worthwhile goals, okay? During the first 48-hour training, we always talk about setting your goals, right? And I like to set little goals, right? I want you to set little goals, right, during the time and when you're determining, because those little goals, as I just read to you guys, or just said to you guys, those little goals are going to help get you motivated to keep pushing forward, to keep going to that next level, to that next step. It's all part of the success formula. It's this setting your goals. It's designed to teach you how the 1%ers think and act. It's designed to get you moving forward on your journey towards a predetermined worthwhile goal. Now, what is a worthwhile goal? Well, a worthwhile goal is whatever you say it is. So, whatever you say it is, and I used this before. What was one of our worthwhile goals for me and my family was to be able to, go out to eat wherever we want, whenever we want it. I like to cook. My wife likes to cook, but we like someone else to cook for us even better. So one of our worthwhile goals was to be able to earn enough money so that we can go out to eat whenever, wherever, and we could order from the left side of the menu versus the right side of the menu. And if for those who don't know that, the right side is where all the prices were. And, a lot of times that's what we're looking at. But a worthwhile goal is whatever you say it is, right? So, so a worthwhile goal must be exactly what it is that motivates you. If you cannot determine what's worthwhile, then you won't go after it. If it's not worthwhile for you, you won't go after it. You see, you'll not push through the times when it gets hard. So that's why a lot of those that I work with, I want to know what your whys are. Because if it's not big enough why, if the goals are not worthwhile, you won't push through when times get tough. So I'm just telling you this. It's so important for you guys to always read your goals first thing in the morning, last thing at night. Not just read them, but you got to be able to feel them. Okay, you have to be able to feel them. So everything that I outlined, that I had to say this about success not being easy. You see, it's not for the faint of heart. It's not for those who are easily influenced. It's not for those who are determined it's only for those who are determined to fight for a new way, for a new life. And that is why the path of success is not an easy one. And I guarantee you this, if you were to ask the top 1% of the worldwide income earners, was it easy? What do you think they'll say? They'll say, heck no, it wasn't easy, because they will do what most people won't do. They will go above and beyond. You see, I always like to say, you see, your income is derived from working 8 to 5. Your fortune is derived from working 5 to 9. Let me repeat that. Your income is derived from working 8 to 5, but your fortune is derived from working 5 to 9. It's every hour after those hours that you put in normally is what's going to get you there. And when I think back on our journey of our success, when we made those, millions of dollars, it wasn't easy, because the work behind what I did was a lot of work. It was an immense workload. In fact, at the end of the first 7 months, I think I didn't have a mental breakdown, but I had a breakdown of energy. I mean, I was so mentally spent that I was out playing golf with a buddy of mine, and I didn't even know what I was doing, where I was at. In fact, I literally had to call my wife to come pick me up. I didn't want to drive my own car home. That's how done I was, because I left it all out in the field, everybody, because no one was going to do what I needed to do for my family. No one was going to tell me, no one was going to help me, no one was going to deny me the success that I knew I needed to have at that time in my life. You see, if you're not that passionate about changing your life, you won't do it. And then nothing I can say, nothing I can train you on. You're not going to change. You're not going to change just because I tell you to. It has to come from within you. I don't care how many no's you're getting out there, everybody, because I've gotten thousands of them. But see, the no's did not determine my success. The no's did not take me away from my whys and my goals. You know what kept me going? Putting food on the table for my family, giving me the time freedom that I needed to be able to go to every one of my son's football practice and one of his games, be able to give my wife the freedom to do whatever she wanted, whenever she wanted, to be able to provide a financial future for my family where we have residual income coming in. That's what kept me going. I'm going to ask you one last thing before I go. What's going to keep you going, everybody? What is it that's going to motivate you to get off the couch and go back to doing what you're supposed to be doing? And this is a general statement, whether it's Hülsa or whether it's your life. You all want to change. But what are you going to do to get going and keep it going? That only you can determine that. I kind of laid out the path, why it isn't easy. Whether you do this or not, that's totally up to you. At the end of the day, we'll all keep pushing forward. We'll all keep moving forward. Also, one day we'll become a billion-dollar company, and I pray that each and every one of you will be there when we reach that milestone. Okay, everybody? I hope you enjoyed tonight. I enjoyed sharing with everybody. And look, we're starting May. This is the beginning of May. If April didn't go the way that you want, you have a new way in front of you. And right here, this right here, push yourself, because no one else is going to do it for you. And that's true. That's the most important thing, is that you've got to push yourself. You've got to do it for yourself, because no one else is going to do it for you. Okay. Reach down deep inside of you, everybody. Go out there this month. Let's get your Hülsa business going. Set new goals. Hit the reset button. Get excited. Let's go after it. God bless everybody. Good night. This is Joe Licciardi signing off from Temecula, California. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Bye-bye.